So just going to go over your props before we start. You want to have at least two firm-ish cushions, but preferably even more. I have these two massive things, but I also have blocks. So smaller cushions or pillows would also work. You can also use books. You definitely want a couple of blankets. So large blankets. I have two of these. You can also use rolled up hand towels to place them under your wrists or behind your neck is really nice. Okay, you're going to find and have a chair. So I recommend you have a chair today. We're going to use a chair to make the folds more gentle. If you don't have a chair, you can use your props or the wall. But if you can get your hands on a chair, a regular dining chair, that would be great. All right. Well, I'm happy that you're here. And I know there was a couple of people that were having trouble getting on. I'm just going to give them a few more seconds. If anyone has any questions, you can ask me in the chat. Then we'll get started. All right. One last check here. All right, beautiful. Let's get started. So welcome. We're going to start off with your chair or your large cushions. We're going to start in a forward fold. So you want to take your legs a little bit wide. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you, don't stay there. You're going to take one of your blankets and put it under your hips. So your hips are slightly elevated. And it can also be much nicer than sitting on a mat. To start there, and then you're going to pull your chair in between your legs. If this is uncomfortable and you can put your legs underneath your chair, then do that. So always make a choice to where it's more comfortable for you. And then you might even want to do another cushion on top of your chair. So the idea is that you get as comfortable as possible here. Good. And then you're going to gently fold yourself forward over that chair. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to take a few breaths to fully arrive in your body. So again, you don't want to be folding too far forward. It's more just like you're in a supported sit. Sorry, I keep having to let people in. So you're in the supported sit. And then you're going to take a deep inhale through your nose and bypass your chest and take that breath all the way down to your belly. Try to expand your belly. And then a long breath out your mouth. And try to create a little bit of noise coming out your mouth like a sigh or like a sound. So you want to create some vibration. So let's do that a couple more times. Deep inhale through your nose. Keep going. Extending that exhale, creating a little bit of sound. As you inhale, your belly expands. You're taking the breath all the way down to the stomach. Keep going. The more consciously and purposely you breathe, the more conscious you're experiencing life. Without breath, if you skip the next breath, your life is over. There's no more life. So breath is crucial to your vitality. So just bringing some consciousness to your breath. Let it be easy but deep. And when we're scared or stressed, our breath becomes shallow. And so in this way, by consciously changing our breath, we're then changing the way you feel and experience life. Versus a situation happening, your breath shifting to be tight or shallow, which then changes the experience you're having negatively. So by focusing on your breath, you're taking control of your experience of life right now. And now let your breath be easy. And if it is possible and comfortable for you, can you have it be in and out of your nose? Nose breathing has a myriad of positive effects for your body. But if it's not, then let your breath be easy and gentle in the way that works for you. And so this idea of not really doing anything takes a little bit of getting used to. As we sit here in this position, you might feel some resistance coming up. Like, what's the next thing? Or looking for something else. And just allow that to be there. That's normal. Good. And now from here, you're going to cross your legs. So in whatever way works for you. Again, I recommend you're sitting on a blanket here. Even if sitting flat is comfortable for you, having your hips slightly higher is better for your lymph system. And again, we're just going to do this leaning forward. But this time, if it would feel good to you, you can hinge forward at the hip a little. So what do I mean by that? Take your tailbone behind you a little bit, or think of sticking your belly down. So not your chest. So tailbone back, belly down. And from there, you rest. And maybe you turn your head to the different side this time, if you were favoring one side. And then I'm going to give you another choice. The other choice is, if you want to go deeper, is you take your forearms and you rest, you stack an elbow on top of a hand and vice versa. And then you're going to put the elbows out in front of you and push it away a little bit, and then rest your head on your forearm. So it's going to get a little bit more into your shoulders, but gently, gently. So you don't want to be in a full overhead here. Gentle. Good. And so now, while you're in this position, just taking stock of your body. So With your legs crossed, notice how your hips feel. Notice how your knees feel. Don't go into a story if they don't feel great. Just notice them and send your breath there. Breathing into those tight spots. Having the intention that your breath will release some of that tension, which it will do. Now we're halfway through. You're going to simply switch the direction of your leg. So whatever leg is behind, you're going to put it in front. And then back with your forearms, if that was the version you were doing, you're going to switch whichever forearm is on top. And come back down to the same position. Good. And just notice how this feels different. And if you're thinking about something that's happened in your day to get you to this moment, or maybe you're thinking about some things you've got to do, or the same stories you spend most of your days thinking about. Don't try to resist that, because resistance creates persistence. It will stay. You want to welcome the thoughts in. Welcome them in. Like, have this idea of, yes, welcome in, come in. No resistance at all. But then once they're in, you let them go. So this is a yoga practice of non-attachment. You welcome it in, you let it go. And this practice of welcoming everything in, emotion, pain, physical discomfort, thoughts, but then letting them go. This allows you to fully experience this moment right now. And this practice of letting it go helps you to move into all the stresses you're dealing with in your life with a lighter heart, because you're not attaching and getting stuck in the same moment that you're reliving over and over again. It allows you to experience those moments, but not keep reliving them. So when you're waking up first thing in the morning and you're thinking of the same thing that troubled you yesterday, even though you're no longer in that experience, your body doesn't know that. So it's reliving what you're thinking. So this practice I want you to have for this time we have together today, of welcoming in and letting go, will help you more than anything in your daily life to not hold on to the negative experiences. And it's a skill and it's a practice that we practice together. So now you're going to gently come out of that gentle fold. Good. And then you can push the chair away slightly. We're going to come into a side lying position. There's a couple of choices here. You can use your large cushions here. So you want from your hip to under your arm with a cushion. So if the cushions don't fit that, you can use a blanket to fit that. And then you're going to want either another cushion or a rolled up blanket to support your head. And you're going to face the computer and then have your lower arm on the ground. So the arm is on the ground, but the torso is supported with the cushion. And then the head is supported with the cushion. Now, if this is at all uncomfortable to have your legs close, you take your second blanket. This is why we have so many props. And you're going to place the second blanket between your legs. So already this should feel really lovely and supported. Good. And from here, you're going to take this top arm and take it overhead. Now, if this pinches in your shoulder or your neck, then you're going to rest the hand in front and rest it on the ground. We are trying to expand this upper rib section. So there's some slight contraction happening on the lower ribs, the lower side body, and there's some slight expansion happening in these top ribs. I'm putting the timer on. And try to have your bottom palm face the ceiling. And if your arm is overhead, that top palm will face the ground. And so now as you're lying here, you're going to feel a little bit of expansion in those top ribs. So we're going to play with your breath here. So as you inhale, can you inhale and expand those top ribs? And it's going to be a little bit challenging to do. Trying to direct your breath laterally to one side. And don't do it in a way that tightens your shoulders. Try to keep it in your belly. So your belly expands with the inhale, but also taking it to those top ribs. So not just the ribs, the belly, the stomach, and the ribs. I want to avoid talking too much. So just to say that this has a lot of value for your posture and just the way you breathe naturally throughout the day. Also, there's a lot of loss that we hold in our lungs, and breathing in this way helps release that. Twenty seconds left. So now you're going to gently take that top arm that is overhead and bring it in front of you first, in front of you. And just sit there for a minute. There's no rush. Notice if your instinct is to rush. And we're trying to stop that instinct. So you're going to keep your legs here. And all we're going to do is simply turn your torso to face the ground. So you're in a gentle twist. So you're going to gently push yourself up and take one hand behind you. And then you're facing the cushions. And because you already have these cushions set up for your head and your torso, you should be able to just gently rest down without moving anything too much. And you can turn your head any way you want. And so you're going to feel this in your hips and your back a little bit, because this is a spinal twist. Closing your eyes again. We're here for 3 minutes. Keeping your breath deep but easy. Remembering to notice the mind, welcome it in, and let it go. Let it go. And feel the surface underneath your body, the soft cushion supporting your torso. Maybe something supporting your head. Because you are supported right now in this moment, deeply supported by these cushions you've created, by me, by each other. In this moment, you are deeply supported. So you're going to very gently take your hands either side of your torso and push yourself up. And we're going to turn to the other side. You can do that however you would like. So you could just turn your legs over and roll onto your other side. I'm going to stay facing you, so I'm going to move my whole body. And we're going to do this first one with the overhead position of your arm. So again, you're getting those cushions right up next to your hip. And you want that bottom arm to be resting on the ground, palm faces the ceiling. You've got something supporting your head. Try to have your head be in a line with your spine. So you don't want it up like this or dropping. You want it to be in a straight line. And if you have broad shoulders, then you'll probably have to stack it up a little bit more. The bottom palm faces the ceiling. And when you're ready, you're going to take that top hand overhead. And remembering, if this doesn't work, you rest it in front of you. But either way, you're going to try to breathe into these top intercostal muscles and your belly. Don't just keep the breath in your ribs, because that creates shallow breath. So you still want to breathe and expand your belly. So expand your belly first and then take it to the top ribs. See how that feels. Expanding your belly first and then taking it to the top ribs. And if there's a little bit of emotion that comes up, welcome that in too. You're welcoming everything in. When people get emotional in these sort of practices, it's a releasing that's happening. You're creating space for emotion that has been stuck in your body, sometimes for decades. And it's a beautiful thing if you have a little bit of emotion. That's a positive thing. You're releasing that stuck emotion. So whatever comes up, welcome it in. Don't resist it, because that's what you've been doing your whole life, resisting the uncomfortable. So we want to work on this welcoming in and allowing things to release. And that is how this becomes healing. Taking that top arm and gently resting it in front of you. Just take a minute. No rushing to get anywhere. As you're ready, you're going to gently push yourself up to face that cushion. So your legs stay where you are. You just take a hand either side of your cushion, and you can put your head in either direction that works for you. As you lie down, chest facing the ground. So now bring your awareness to your shoulders. And with every exhale, can you let your shoulders soften a little bit more? keeping your breath deep but gentle. Remembering that you are safe and you are supported to allow whatever comes up to be. Now, gently taking your hands either side, as slow as you can, you want to come up.